Professor.
Yes, Emily.
Hi. It's still not working.
No?
No, for the username, I did do my short name. Does that make a difference?
I think yours is your last name and then
Yeah, that's what I
E-M-I-L?
did. Yeah, I did that. And then I did my password. It's saying that it's not connecting and not working.
Okay. There's a
Sorry to
guy,
bother you with that.
that's okay. There's a guy, I have to find his email, who takes
Okay.
care of all this stuff.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, and I made sure that the port number was 21 too, as well. Try it again. Thank you.
Nicole, Rob, and Patrick, you guys just can't get enough of me, can you?
No, you're the best.
I try.
He's not wrong.
I haven't
Nope.
had a professor as good as you ever since.
No?
No.
Didn't you have me as like a freshman?
Yeah, freshman.
Yep. And now we're seniors.
Way to make me feel old. Billy, he's another one. Can't get enough of me.
How you doing, Professor?
I'm okay. Why didn't you do the extra credit for advanced business software?
I was satisfied with my grade.
Okay. I just thought maybe you had something against like tic-tac-toe or something.
No, no.
So did everybody see that note I put in the chat? That if you can't get into Win SCP, the guy who handles that stuff on campus is named Thomas McGee. Austin Joseph. Interesting. That's one of my friend's kids' name.
Good to hear.
Some of you I know already. Why do some of these names look familiar, though? Damon, have you had a class with me before?
I have not, no.
You on like a sports team?
I am not.
I don't know why your name sounds familiar.
Sorry to bum you out.
So this Emily I know. This Emily, the other Emily said was great, right? That's what you told me in the spring?
Which one? Which one, me?
Yeah, didn't you say this other Emily is like a great student?
I know Emily Safay. I don't think I said that, but I know her. She is great.
I promise I'm a great student.
She is great. I mean, I know her.
I'll take your word. We'll see you in a few weeks. Michael I know, Nicole I know. Raheel I know, Rob I know, Billy I know. So while we're waiting for everybody, Nicole, tell us about that internship.
That internship turned into a co-op.
Oh,
Yep. I'm working this semester with UPS.
nice.
So basically, my project was supposed to be based off of automated test frameworks in ServiceNow. So basically taking the manual processes and automating them. However, I discovered a bug in ServiceNow, so I couldn't actually complete that project, hence why they gave me the co-op, so I could hopefully do it now. But instead, what I presented to the VP of Tech was a Microsoft Excel project, and it was basically, I don't know why this keeps falling. It's basically converting text files to CSVs, and then I converted those to the macros, and I built a macro to organize all the data from the Service Management Center, SMC, and they loved it. And then I built a playbook on how to use it.
So you used what I taught you in 2701,
Yes,
what you were taught in 3727 to do all this.
yes.
Not bad.
When my manager asked me if I knew how to use Excel for that, I was like, yeah, I learned this in school. And the VP of Tech, he's also a Seton Hall alum,
Nice.
Joe Lawless.
Who else are we waiting for? Mike, is your wife in? Mike, wake up.
You,
Where's the water?
you still remember that?
Didn't
got
I
a good
like
mem-
tell you guys this? Like I
You
don't
have a
forget
great
things.
memory. Yeah, she's on her way.
Okay. And then what else? 5 people we're waiting on? So who so far tried this Win SCP and didn't get to log in yet? I don't see yours here, Patrick, so they might not have set yours up. You said you joined today?
Yeah, I just joined. I'm setting it up right now.
So Rahil's here, Rob's here, Billy's here. Damon, I guess, Evan. Dominic, I'm assuming.
Domenico, yeah, I mean.
PAT Dana. His wife is there. I don't know that one. Nicole's there. Shelley, I think.
I've been checking the problem with the WinSCP. It's not on our client end that the issue is.
Okay.
Because I just decided to open command prompt and ping courses that shoot at EDU, and it's timing out. So it's just declining our attempts to establish a connection.
So you guys all in like the classroom there? Because that happened last year. Like if you all are in the classroom at the same time trying to log in. But if you're all like on different places on campus now.
I mean, I'm on University Green.
Right, but like not all 22 of you are trying to log in right this second. So I'm not sure why it's timing out. But we don't need it right this second. I just want to make sure that everybody has it. And you're seniors too now, Mike and Emily?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a senior too. I didn't know which Emily you were talking to.
Yeah, this is going to be a pain. 3 Emilys? We'll have to come up with some kind of code. All right, young scholars, we'll start. Mike can keep the, he'll update the wife once she shows up. So tonight, because this is a 2.5-hour class that meets once a week, we're going to go more than just over the course syllabus. As I said in my little note, apologies, I was hoping to be on campus tonight, but something came up. So for those of you that aren't aware, next Monday is Labor Day and the university is closed, so there won't be class next week. So, you know, if you don't like me after tonight's meeting, you get a little bit of a break from me before the next class on the 12th. So some of you may or may not know this course was created by a former adjunct at Seton Hall named Mark Nazaro. After the fall 2019 semester, he decided to quit. Not entirely sure why, but now he teaches at NJIT. So Dr. Rosenthal, the BITM department chair, said, "Hey, you've run a web design business for 20 years. You want to teach this class?" I said, "Sure." So it's taught every fall. I first taught it fall 2020, which I'm sure you guys understand was a pain in the backside with COVID and meeting on 2 teams every class meeting. So the course description is pretty basic. The course will focus on the development of web pages enhanced with live data from databases, adding interactivity, user preferences, and storage. The course will start out with simple examples and end with a sophisticated project that uses all the techniques and technology examined in the course. So those of you that have had me for BITM 27001 or 3727 basically know those are kind of like, hey, you kind of have to do it a certain way. In this class, I'm allowed to do whatever I want because basically I fixed it and continue to make changes with it. So there is no test in this course. The overarching focus is on the project you guys are going to do. So you'll see on the syllabus, project proposal, project, and project presentation. So in essence, you guys are going to create your own website, whether you put it on the courses web space that you guys were created. You could do it on Wix. There was one other thing they used last semester, I forget. But there's also a like WordPress like blog that you could create, and I'll give you guys the link later in the semester. I think that's just blogs.shu.edu. So, and I'll give you some of these examples next class. You're going to create a proposal on what your website is going to be. So you're first going to give, and I'll touch on this again momentarily, you're going to have a rough draft of the proposal. I'll give you feedback on that. Then you create a final draft of your proposal. Then you create your website. Then you give a presentation on it, the last 2 classes. And all of that is worth a total of 65% of your final grade. So you can hear and sound, you know, how important that is to the course. So assignments for the course. I've, you know, made it as easy as possible for you guys. The first time I taught this, because it was online due to COVID in fall 2020, they had an assignment and a quiz and a project to do every week. Last fall when I taught this, they had an assignment to do the first 10 weeks, and then it was just work on the project and do the presentation the last few weeks. This semester, I've made it even easier for you. There is a HTML assignment, a CSS assignment, a JavaScript assignment, a PHP and Forms assignment, and then a podcast assignment. Each of them are 5% toward the total grade. As you guys know, don't submit, well, most of you know from having me before, don't submit late work unless you have like documentation, like you were sick, somebody passed away, because I'm not going to accept it. Those of you that have had me before also know I grade participation, 0 points if you don't show up, 1 point if you show up and don't participate, 2 points if you show up and participate. So there's 14 class meetings, 28 points total, and that's the other 10% of the grade. I think a lot of you are seniors. Do I really need to go over the academic dishonesty again? No, you guys have probably all seen this in all your other classes. Softball star Emily. Question?
Nope, I was just going to say all good, Professor.
Okay. Maybe that's how I'll disseminate. Emily S will actually be Emily. Softball star Emily and Mike's wife. Does that work?
Yep. I'm good with that one.
Okay. So, like I just basically went over, the course is broken up. Project proposal rough draft is 5% of the final grade. The final proposal is 10% of the grade. The project is 30%. The project presentation is 20%. So that's your 65% of the total grade. Participation is 10%. And those 5 assignments I mentioned are 5% each. So the grade computation is the same as with every course, I think, at Seton Hall. Billy, what's my goal for everybody in my classes?
Sorry, I just came back from the bathroom. What did you say?
I said, what's my goal for everyone in my classes? What grade do I want them to get?
You guys, we want to get all A's.
Everybody should be getting an A. Yep. Then there's just some basic topics we'll cover, and I'll show you the list momentarily. So this week is a course introduction and then the HTML basics. Next time we meet will be advanced HTML, then 2 weeks of cascading style sheets, then 2 weeks of JavaScript, then PHP and forms, then XML, JSON, and XHTML. Then we'll spend 2 weeks basically telling you about about 7:30. I'm teaching classes online. And the 11:7 and 11:14 meetings will be teaching you guys how to use other software like WordPress, content management systems, and how to advertise your specific websites through social media, search engine optimization, pay-per-click. Then the last 2 course meetings in November, it's up to you guys whether you want to show up in class or not to ask questions. You will be creating your website during those 2 course meetings. If you want to show up and ask me questions, perfectly fine with me. If you want to work on it at home, maybe stop in for 20 minutes during those dates, that's perfectly fine. And then the last 2 course meetings will be your presentations on your website. So you'll note next Monday we don't meet because the university's closed on Labor Day. And on October 10th, we're not going to meet because that is your off for a couple days for fall break. You'll notice after we're finished with HTML, you'll have an HTML assignment. After we're done with cascading style sheets, there'll be an assignment. After you're done with JavaScript, you'll have the JavaScript assignment. Submit that on the 4th if you so choose as well. So any questions so far? Pretty straightforward. Like I said, I'm trying to make less assignments that presentation. So you could submit that on the 4th if you so choose as well. So any questions so far? Pretty straightforward. Like I said, I'm trying to make less assignments that, wouldn't impede your progress towards creating the best website you can. So no questions on that so far? Good. All right, so what I'm going to use in class is called a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So I'm specifically going to use this W3 Schools example that I gave you the link for on Blackboard. Everything I post will just be under content and within that folder. This is all in the course information folder that's up at the top. So for W3 Schools, that's the WYSIWYG that I'm going to use. Some of the examples I provide you in the PowerPoints are only going to work within this WYSIWYG because it's their examples. If you Google, WYSIWYG, I'm fine with you using whatever one you choose. There are a couple that used, I forget the name of it, last fall, and it literally would highlight any code that was wrong, so they knew what they had to change and everything. So I've asked you to download WinSCP. There's a link for it here. You use to FTP, and there's the website there, to FTP your files into your web space.
Marina. Quick question.
Emily, yes.
Is that WYSIWYG? You said that's the code check?
Yeah, that's where we'll put our HTML and code.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I understood that correctly. Thank you.
Okay. You could, like I said, Google that and decide on using a different one. That's up to you. But certain examples will only work in that one. So that's kind of why I used it. So let me see.
Professor.
Yeah. Question?
I'm using a Mac and I can't use the WinSCP. Is there anything else I can use or no? I mean, I still have my school computer, but it doesn't really work that well anymore.
So last year there was some weird workaround. So this guy here, this Thomas McGee or Thomas.McGee at shu.edu. I would email him. I forget the name of the program that he had the people with Macs use in last fall. So for the moment, that would be my answer.
All right, thank you.
Because like I said, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. So if you're logging in, you select FTP from the file protocol. Make sure you have explicit encryption set. The host name is courses.shu.edu. Your username is, what do they call it, Emily, softball store? Short name?
Yeah, it's your shoe short name and then your password for your shoe short name.
Then when you do all that and hit enter, you'll be logged in. And so here's some of the stuff I had from last time. But because this is all under the BITM 3730 umbrella, like I said, I can kind of see that they've set some of these up. So hopefully that means that you can log in, but last fall it took like 3 weeks into the semester for everybody to work. So like I said, that's why I kind of wanted you guys to check on this week so that everything's ready and ready to roll by the time we meet next time. Because technically we'll just use the WYSIWYG tonight. Okay, so is there any questions on any of that? We went through some of the basics of the syllabus and what you guys will need for the class. We're all set on that. Okay, good. So as we get into course content, I want to warn you guys that there'll be some nights where I'm going to double up just on information you guys might want to look at. So when I taught this last year, I had one boring class meeting on networks, servers, and WebSockets, and the young scholars wanted to kill me. So I decided this semester to just put this slide up on Blackboard. You guys can go through it. It tells you what certain issues are when you go on the web. Like you may have seen a 403 error that you're forbidden, 504 error, stuff like that. And it's all related to how the web works and any issues you may have. And here I mentioned commonly used web servers and paid web servers, etc. You know, the difference between a website, a web page, a subdomain, if you wanted to build your own web server on Chrome, I put a link there. The difference between a web server and an application server. And I kind of go on and on about basics of networks and servers. And you guys can kind of tell why the students were bored out of their mind. So the reason I scrolled through that is I just want to show you the basic that we use port 21 because it is commonly used for FTP. Anybody know what FTP stands for? Nicole probably does. Aren't you in some like web group or something? What was that? Luca? What'd you say?
Yeah, I was going to file transfer protocol.
Yep. Everybody heard that. File transfer protocol, FTP. Okay, so that is, I think, 56 slides. And if it shows up on your end with the like slideshow thing on the side, just click the triple bars here and it'll just show the slides like so. And then below there's a couple YouTube videos that you guys are more than welcome to look at for more info on that. So no questions on that. Like I said, that's just kind of stuff left over from last fall that the students found boring. But I think everybody should know it, so I just threw it up there for you guys to look at. If you so choose, I can also email out the actual PowerPoint that I have. But for now, it's embedded there in today's content folder, so hopefully that works for everyone. Any questions on that?
Yeah, I have a question, Professor.
Okay.
What is this Win SCP? What exactly is it doing? The FTP when you connect it to the SHU courses website, what exactly is that doing? It's okay if you're gonna get into it later. That's fine. I'm just curious. I'm not fully understanding what it's
So
doing.
you're going to have 4 assignments in this class where you're going to create HTML files. You're going to enhance them with cascading style sheets, then JavaScript, and then make a form with HTML and PHP. You're going to upload all 4 of those assignments to your courses web space. And then you'll submit a link to me for the homework. For the PHP one, you're also going to have to submit the PHP file, because once you have PHP up on a server, that's the awesome part of using PHP, that it is nice and secure. You can't see the code for it. And then you may also choose to put your project, the website you create for the class, up onto your courses.shu.edu web space. So for example, I have this here, my Merino M6 page, and you guys would have the same thing, but instead of my username there, it would be your username. So mine is just kind of a, right now it's just basically shows, like I mentioned, fall 2020 had a lot of assignments. Last year had 10. So I just kind of update that with a little information here and there for you guys. So yours will be used to submit your assignments and create your website project. Like I said, some people did blogs. Other people used Wix last fall. So you're welcome to do that too. So that's why I said for now, you're not really going to use it. But after we meet our next class on September 12th, the HTML assignment that's due after that will be uploaded onto your web space. So is that clear? So we just want to make sure that it's working and up and running for this moment.
Yeah, that's clear. That makes sense. Now. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, there's Mike's wife. She showed up. Hi, Emily.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Okay, so we already went over overview of the course. I'll go through my availability. You guys are pretty knowledgeable on Blackboard. I don't have to go through like I do with 2701. Like I said, everything is just click content, and there's a folder with the date of the class, and everything will be in there. Grading and grading scale, I pretty much already went over. How to succeed in the course without really trying, I guess I'll have to go over for the half of you that haven't had me before. We already touched on academic dishonesty, and then we'll do some HTML basics. So we already did that. So my availability, when I'm on campus, I'm going to have a BITM 2701 course before you guys that runs 2 to 4:30. As Billy and some of the others like Rob and Raheel can tell you, probably ends about 4 o'clock more often than not. The one exam where we do in Excel, that might last a little longer. So before class, like 4:30 to the start of class, and after class, I usually might hang around the classroom until about 8 o'clock before I go over to the student center and grab some food, and then take the trek home. So if those don't work, then just email me and be like, hey, can we do a Skype, a Zoom, a Teams, whatever meeting? And I'd say 99 times out of 100, I can do that, no issues, and as long as I have a little bit of notes. So again, like I said, everything, you just click the content tab on the side, and everything's just divided into weekly meetings. We went over this when we went over the syllabus. Like I said, there's those 5 assignments that are broken up 5% each. Then the proposal, rough and final draft, the project, the website, your presentation, and your participation. So the podcast assignment is going to be the only assignment you don't upload into your course's web space. That's basically just going to be like, hey, listen to a podcast and answer a couple questions. So the rough draft for the project proposal is inside the 10.3 folder on Blackboard right now, and it will be due Sunday, October 23rd. So for the young scholars I've had before, when is everything due? What time?
11.
11:59.
11:59. Yeah,
Yes. 11:59 Eastern Standard Time on Sunday nights. So you guys basically have all week, and in these cases, for the bigger projects, like the rough draft, the final draft, the website itself, and the presentation, have a lot of time to do them. So the basic synopsis of it is, for this course, you are asked to create a website, which I refer to as project. You'll write up a proposal describing your project. I'll give you examples online. I have to get permission from last fall's kids to show you them. The rough draft is graded out of 50 points, with each section scored 10 points each. So your introduction, your problem, your solution, your deliverables, and your process and cost will each be scored with 10 points. So the way you're going to put this proposal together, even if you're making the website for yourself, you're going to write the proposal as if you're doing it for somebody else, as if you like met up with somebody and got specific information from them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So like Mike and the wife might, make websites for each other. And, so they would ask, oh, well, what is the purpose of this website? How many pages do I need to complete, etc. Then the final draft, I'll give you, so it's due the, what did I say, 23rd? So on Halloween, I'll probably give you your feedback from them. And then you go and take that and fix it up for your final version. So the final version Dropbox in Blackboard is inside the 1031 folder. It'll be due on the 13th of November. So the rough draft is out of 50 points. The final draft will be out of 150 points. So you see why it's worth more for the total course. It's the same 5 areas, but problem, solution, deliverables, process, and course get bumped up from 10 points to 35 points. Make sense?
Yes.
We keep hearing from the same few people. They're going to hate me, especially in the classroom when I'm like asking them multiple times. Then we get into the project. So the project instructions and this criteria are inside the November 21st folder. It's going to be due on the 4th of December. Like I said, you just post your little link, whether you put it on your courses page, you make a blog, you use Wix, that's entirely up to you. You just put that link into Blackboard and you're good to go. And I grade it. So it's based on appearance. Does it look visually good? Does it, look like you actually used what I taught you in class? That's worth 25 points. Your deliverables, we go back to your proposal. Did you actually do all the things you said you were going to do? Don't say you're going to make 25 web pages and then your website is 4, because that may cost you some points there. Process and cost. Did it really take you as much time as you said it would? Did it quote unquote cost as much as you said you could? And did you use the course info? Did you use HTML, CSS, forms, JavaScript, etc.? Now I say that I don't expect you guys to use the XML and JSON, because that's literally just to store data and information. If you do, awesome. If not, I'm not going to hold it against you. Same thing for the social media, SEO, pay-per-click information I give you. If you don't necessarily advertise your website, that's fine by me. So any questions on that? No? Okay, good. So the next is the project presentation. You literally just make a PowerPoint on your website and address some of these issues you may have had. I'll touch on that momentarily. So that is currently in the 12.5 folder. You submit your PowerPoint to the Dropbox, hopefully by 12.4. If you're presenting on 12.12 and want to submit it like 12.11, that's fine with me. The idea is for you to give a timed 10-minute presentation on your PowerPoint, or your project, rather. So the presentations will be the last 2 meetings of the semester, 12.5 and 12.12. Nicole, what happens during the scheduled exam time during my classes?
I'm trying to remember. Become the class, I know that. Extra
You do?
credit?
No.
Well,
The
when
the final exam that they have scheduled like 8 in the morning, you know, the week after the last class, we don't meet. Remember?
I came in for my final when I had you.
You did?
Yeah, I did. We all did.
No, we had it the final class.
Oh, that's right. I just
So-
remember going in.
Raheel, do you have a question?
Listen, so remember, I don't know if you're doing this, I remember in 2701, we did where you could exchange points. I kind of forgot the process of how it went. But I remember you did that during like the finals day. Is that still applicable to this course?
Possibly. Well, we'll see how it goes.
I
You're talking
remember.
about the pool of points?
I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, we could do that, but I'm hoping everybody does great in this class. Like, there's no Joes. I don't want to get into that. Nicole, did you hear that story?
Yeah.
Is that why you laughed?
Yeah, I remember that.
There's always a Joe in my class that bombs and always need points, but I don't know. Do we have any Joes in this class?
Wasn't there someone in our
Oh.
class that registered for the class and never showed up? And we said that if he did show up, we'd get like all A's on the final.
Yeah, the guy who pretended that he was the ambassador to Poland.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened to him.
I don't know either. But that was funny.
There was one young scholar I had for this class last fall, and then she was in Softball Stars 37-27 with her. She did the first assignment for both classes and then never appeared again. Never signed in the blackboard, did any assignment or anything. So yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, the final exam day may be like 12:19 at like 10:30 in the morning. We don't do that. The last official class meeting will be the 12th, and it'll be the second group of presentations. I will have you guys at some point, probably right before Thanksgiving, pick which one of those 2 days you want to do your presentations. And then, you know, if you have like a great grade and want to skip the day you're not presenting, that's on you. So the presentation is broken into the content, duration, and presentation. So you're actually graded on how close you are to your 10 minutes. So if you're like 15 minutes, you're not going to get a great grade on that. You're like 5 minutes, you're not going to get a great grade on that. You want to kind of be as close to 10 minutes as you can. So the bulk of this is on the content and the presentation itself. So the content, you want to have an intro slide with your name and info, slides describing a little bit about your project proposal, slides describing your project, or you could just pull up your website and explain it. And then at least one slide describing any issues you had. So I know some people last fall did their website project using Wix and didn't know that you have to pay for certain things to use on Wix. So like forms and certain images they wanted, they couldn't do because they didn't have the paid version. So that could be an example of issues you may have. And I'll give you some tips, and I think I may have already done so, on quote unquote professional presentations. You want to avoid just pause instead, keep eye contact with your audience and other information. So those of you that have had me already know that I do this for all of my classes, quote unquote, how to succeed in whatever course it may be without really trying. So this is just a repeat to you guys For those new young scholars, ask questions with any issues you have. Always submit everything on time. Participate in class. While we're on campus, try and come to class on time and focus your efforts on the project components. Like I said, that's 65% of the grade. Those two versions of the proposal, the website project itself, and your presentation. Academic dishonesty, like I said, at this point, you guys should know know this policy inside and out. Don't copy each other, don't cheat, etc. Like I said, the last bullet point here, I basically give you all the information. You don't really need to copy off each other. So, tools needed for class, we covered that earlier. WYSIWYG editor, you could use the example one I provide, or Google one for yourself. Once we get into actually doing things, you want to save all your files into Notepad and open them in the browser to check. And I'll show you guys that a little later on. WinSCP, like I said, if you have a Mac, contact that Thomas McGee, because I forget the alternative off the top of my head. And he might, have his email saved somewhere that he emailed the students from last year. And then your courses.shu.edu web space. Phew, okay. Good 45 minutes to go over all. So everybody's basically clear on how the course is going to run, what I expect of you, etc.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's no crazy, Excel exams, like, what was the example we had in your class, Nicole? Construction like sites, like.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no Visual Basic Applications softball star, so you'll be happy with that. No X lookup, no V lookup, just straight web development.
At least you're not trying to trick us,
Well, like I said, this course is basically, I do whatever I want, like you said. And hopefully those of you that haven't had me before are, enjoy this class and, like Damon, like I said, your name for some reason looked familiar, but you said I haven't had you in a class before. So hopefully you enjoy. All right, so we're going to touch on some basic HTML. Who knows what HTML stands for? Nobody?
Hypertext markup language.
Very good. So hypertext markup language, or HTML, is the language used for describing the structure of web pages. And you can see all the different things it gives us the ability to do. In essence, you right-click your view page source, and everything is within the HTML headers. All the information, everything you have. Now, why do we teach this in HTML and not XHTML? Does anybody know? So in HTML, you can make mistakes. And if you put this on, for example, your courses web space, and it's live on a server, the computer will actually interpret what you want to do. When you use XHTML, everything has to be right. If you have one piece of code off, it messes everything up, and your web page may not even load. So that's one basic. You can embed as much things as you want in HTML as well. Embed YouTube videos, tables, even possibly spreadsheets if you wanted, sound clips. So who was it that gave it away? Ahil, did you answer what HTML standard for? You looked ahead like a good young scholar? So HTML consists of what are called tags and values. So tags also have attributes which can help you change things. So in this example, our tag of font size, where we're increasing the attribute of size by 1. So in this example, size is the attribute, plus 1 is our value of the attribute. Make sense? So here, font is our tag, size is our attribute, and the equals plus 1 is the value assigned to that. So you'll notice all of our tags begin with a caret and end with a closed caret. Again, I provide another example here. It's basically the same one. The tag is font, the attribute is size, the attribute value is plus 1. The value itself is test font. So what does that mean? Well, the value here, test font, is our actual value, what we're trying to see. So if you copy that code and put it into our WYSIWYG here, and click run, you see test font shows up too. Let's get rid of that other sentence. So see how test font is there? What do you think is going to happen if I change plus 1 to something bigger? Let's see, who hasn't joined us yet? John, what happens when I change that number? Let's say I make it 9 instead of 1. What do you think happens? Going once, going twice. Lucas, are you with us?
I am.
What's going to happen if I change that number?
I can't see your screen, Professor. You're trying.
Why not?
Oh, the font size is going to change.
Yeah. If I change it to 9, what kind of change is it going to be?
It's going to make it larger.
Larger. Very good. So we make that plus 9 now. It should have. Okay, that's acting up. But in the real world, if we change that to plus 9, it would make this much bigger. For some reason, it hates us today. So you'll notice in this code here that we have caret / font close caret. Does anybody know why that is? Nicole?
Is that to show what is being changed?
Technically. Nicole, do you know?
What was
What?
the question?
Why does the font tag have to be closed like this?
Because it won't run if it's not. It's one command.
Right. So our tag here is font, but because we're including size, there's no caret after the font. When we close it, we have to copy that, but put a slash in front. The slash tells the computer we've now completed our command. That line of code is done. Does that make sense? So you notice here in the example on the WYSIWYG, HTML has its code there with the open carets. And then at the bottom, it has the slash. That tells the computer, okay, That's where our HTML code ends. This page is complete, it's done. And you notice the same thing here with the body. It tells the computer, okay, this is exactly where our body ends. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. So who knows the difference between static and dynamic websites? Have you guys seen them before? Wonder if do I have this saved anywhere? No. No. Oh, I was going to give you guys the example I used last year, but I can't find it. So a static website is basically, you know, boring and stinks. There's not really any interaction you can do with it. And so people don't really like them, enjoy them. Patrick, do you have a question?
Oh, I was gonna try and say what the difference between a static and a dynamic website was, but you
go
answered
ahead.
it.
I didn't finish.
Oh, okay. Well, as you were saying, like a static one is boring and it can't really be changed. I think like a dynamic one can send out requests and change data like on the website, possibly, you know, like change numbers. And you can also like interact with it in more ways than just going to a different page. I'm not really sure what else.
Emily?
I'm not sure if I'm totally correct with this as well, but aren't static websites more like generalized, like they look the same for every user, while dynamic is more individually based on the user?
Yep. So a static page, I'll actually, like this would be a static page. Even though I have, you know, I've used CSS and JavaScript to create drop downs and everything, you will all see this exactly the same. A lot of times, dynamic web pages are built, you know, they may have, oh, here's the time and it updates, and say Nicole's out in California, you know, UPS center out there. Oh, we need you to work with some important person out there for a week or something. She may look at the page and it says one time, and Austin's here in New Jersey and looks at it and it says another time. So that's a dynamic thing that they can do. Another dynamic thing, and I think I show you guys this, they're called actions or effects. You can make it so that your web page, you click a button and the text size gets different instead of having to do it right within your web browser. Another big thing people do is instead of having like just a contact me and it just links your email address, you may have a PHP form where, and I'll show you guys this, it sends the information out to an email. Another thing you could do, and I'll probably just give you guys the code for this. Might do it when we get to JavaScript. You could build cookies and actually see who's coming to my website. And it might actually work where you could use that and say, hey, you know, welcome Bob. Or let's say Domenico creates a site and Austin visits it. You know, he could have it pop up, hey, Austin, thanks for coming back to my site. That could be another thing you do with dynamic code. So the most basic code there is with HTML is the HTML code, or tag rather, the head tag, the title tag, the body tag. So in this code here up on the screen, what do you think HTML lang equals EN means?
That's the English.
English, yep. That's another thing you could do to make a website dynamic by having multiple options of language. So, trying to think, like websites like Badu. You guys are familiar with them. You may have heard them in your business classes. No? Yes? No? Like basically
No.
everything, there's like, like eBay, China like ripped off and made their own version. And I think Badu is like their eBay. You go on those websites and, well, let's test it. Might as well. See if it works. No, I want the website. And it'll have the option, hey, change the language and see? So that's another dynamic option. Because I don't know Chinese. I'm not 100% sure what I'm changing this to, but I think you guys get the point, right? So the head, what do you think that is? The tag for head?
The header of the website.
Yep. So whenever you create a page, you want to have this code in it. Open head for the header, open title, whatever you want your title of the document to be, your close tag for title, your close tag for head. Because when you scroll over to the top of any page, that's what you're doing. See how it says content for this Blackboard page I have open? So that is basically what you were just shown. So here it's try it editor. Oh, because I have the bullet points. So if you were to run this as an actual page on your own, this would now show up as title of the document. So let's actually do that for you. Show you that example. So I go and open that page. We scroll the top of it. It says title of the document, just like our title. So what is going to happen if I change this? What haven't we called that yet? Evan, what happens if I change the title here?
I believe it'll change when you go back to the web page.
If I save it.
If you say
So if I change this to like Evan is a young scholar, if I just leave it like that and refresh this, nothing happens. See, it still says title of the document. I save it now and refresh it. Now it says Evan is a young scholar. Why is nothing showing up in the middle here?
because there's no body.
Yep, we haven't done anything yet. All we've made is the title. We have nothing in our body tags, just info in our header tags. You may see websites that also have metadata. So let's see if this works. ESPN.com. We view our page source for ESPN.com. You'll see here metadata and the keywords. So this is why if you search certain things, sports, and we'll get more into this when we do SEO, these metadata or meta keywords help these websites get searched. So, you know, with the intro specific HTML, I'm not going to jump into that with you guys just yet. So here we go into describing the body tag. It's the document's body, everything you put inside it. You can put headings, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, tables, lists, etc. There can only be one of them in any HTML document. Make sense? You only have one body, right? You can't just all of a sudden create two, right? Same thing with an HTML page. So who knows what a UL tag is? Nobody? It's on the screen.
These like bulleted lists.
What was that?
Are these like lists?
Lists, yep. But what does the U stand for?
I don't know.
Unordered?
Unordered, yep. Unordered list tag. And then within your unordered list, you have your LI tags, which are for your list itself. If you wanted to have an ordered list, instead of UL, you use OL. So you would just change this to U, this U and this U here to O. And if we put that in the body here and run it, we get our unordered list, coffee, tea, milk. And if we change that to OL, we now have an ordered list. You see the difference? No?
Yes.
So can OL and UL be used interchangeably?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Only difference is UL is bullets, OL is, you know, numbered order. Because it's ordered, so it's just numbers. Make sense? So like I said, the list tag defines a list item. You could use it within inside the ordered list or the unordered list, and also use it within a menu. And I think we'll touch on that next week, maybe. So like I said, with UL, it'll display as bullet points. With OL, it displays it as numbers or letters, depending on how much you have, because it's an order. So like 1, 2, 3. Like if you used Microsoft Word, you can set up the bullets the way you like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, etc. I think the 19th we'll start on cascading style sheets or CSS, but a lot of times you use CSS to enhance your lists so that they don't just look like this, you know, boring black text on a white background. So who knows what the A tag is?
Hyperlinks.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys have probably seen Ahref all the time. It links to something else. It helps you with the hyperlink, which is the Ahref, hyperlink reference. attribute. So to make it easier on you, you don't have to type hyperlink reference. You just take the H from hyperlink and put it with the REF from reference. So by default, and I think I have some examples here in the slides for you, links appear as follows in all browsers. An unvisited link is underlined in blue, a visited link is underlined in purple, and an active link is underlined in red. In order to open a new link in a web browser, you'd use the Ahref example here. So let's put that in our WYSIWYG, see what we come up. So why is it underlined in blue?
Because you haven't opened it yet.
Yep. So we click on it, it opens in a new tab. We go back to it, it changed purple. So because we don't have the active here, I don't have it listed as active, it's purple. If it was active, it would be red. Make sense? So here we have another example of a simple HTML page. If we put that in our WYSIWYG and run, we have it this time inside of a list. So how come bulleted text is just blank or black text rather? Luca, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. It doesn't contain a hyperlink.
Right. See the difference? Even though they're both within our list, the text website has that href associated. So you'll notice again, like our font size, we have our H and then our A rather, and then our href is our open of the tag. And then we close it with this A reference here. So what's going to happen when I click on website?
Turn purple.
It's going to take you somewhere.
Should take us to website.com. But because, unlike in the other example where I had the target set as blank to open a new window, if it doesn't work just by clicking like that, you'd have to right click and open link in new tab. So here are some important tags that we'll get to momentarily with our little example we're going to do. Pretty simple, right? P is for paragraph, B is for bold, I is for italic, EM is for emphasized, small is for smaller text. So B and strong are often used interchangeably. I and EM are often used interchangeably. The strong is emphasizing text, making sure that you know it's important. There's subtle differences, but for quote unquote novice web designers, you're not going to see the difference. So here you see B and my last name shows up just with my last name bold. Same thing with strong. There's very subtle difference that is very difficult to see for the quote-unquote novice individual. And then the same thing with I and EM. They just look italic. There's very subtle difference that is hard to see. The small tag, like I said, you want to de-emphasize something and make it look smaller, you use the small tag. You could also use font size and font types to make certain words look bigger and smaller. And that's up to you. So we're going to do an in-class exercise now. It's 6:16. It's up to you how long it takes you to do this. We're going to use the information you guys just learned and pull up your WYSIWYG if you so choose. We're going to create an index file where you have a paragraph describing yourself. Also create a menu with the following links: home, favorite sports team, and contact me. Have the 4 favorite sports teams have a drop-down menu of at least 3 teams you like. You could use baseball teams, football teams, soccer teams, basketball, hockey, college, high school, whatever. So I'll get you started. In order to write your paragraph, you're going to need the P tag. So let's copy this code here. What did I say I want the paragraph about? Paragraph describing yourself. Okay. So let's put that in our WYSIWYG. So where it says put paragraph here, some of my young scholars that have had me before, how would I describe myself? Nuts, crazy, out of touch with reality. Softball star, how would you describe me?
Realistic.
Realistic. Billy, how would you describe me?
Funny.
Rob, you still with us? How would you describe me?
Let's go with awesome. Actually, no, good vibes. You're good vibes. That's what I like to say.
Who else? Mike and wife, how would you describe me?
Laid back.
Laid back.
I'll say helpful.
Okay. Raheel, you still with us? How would you describe me? No, I think she pieced out. How about the newbies? How would the new young scholars describe me? Boring? Horrible?
I would say very welcoming.
Young scholar.
Ultimate young scholar?
Yes, I think you see yourself that way.
Okay. Ultimate young scholar. Emily, what were you saying?
I said you're very welcoming.
Okay. So now what happens when I click run? Well, that text is going to be there now. So now you guys practice with your WYSIWYG with this example from the slide 33. Copy this code here and put something to describe yourself where it says put paragraph here. And then change your title to whatever your name is. So I'm going to give Brendan's famous quote about me as my title. So like a sentence or two is fine. So for now, like I said, you're just editing this code here on slide 33. Change the title to whatever your name is and put a couple sentences here in place of put paragraph here to describe yourself. So that accomplishes the first bullet point. And then once you've done that, you can go ahead and create your links using the, it's up to you whether you want to use the unordered list or the ordered list. In my example here, I use the unordered list. Make sure that goes within your header tag. Why? Because we're making those our top links at the top of our page. So you notice once I put them in, now we have our links up at the top of the page. And you'll notice again, because I've visited these, they're underlined in purple. If you were actually linking these to something, inside the quotes, you would put the specific web page which you're linking to. And when we get into CSS, we'll change this to look more like this with drop downs instead of the basic boring static. So that accomplishes the second bullet point. So I'll let you all work on those 2 bullet points for now and see what you come up with.
Wait, did you say you wanted those links to actually link to a real website?
No. I'm just saying if you chose to do that, within those quotes is where you would put the link. So, you know, if you wanted your home page to be ESPN, you put it in here. HTTP ESPN.com. So if you've done those first two bullet points, do the little hand raise thing on Teams so we know who we're waiting on.
I have a question.
Okay, softball star.
Are we putting our answers in the quote area, or are we doing it? Because, for instance, for the UL one, right? I'm trying to look where it is on yours. Oh, like when it says class and it's red. Are we gonna put our answer in the home section then and just keep the class red?
So class equals current on your screen.
Yes.
That's gonna have home red because it's the current. Now you see on mine, it's all purple because I've already clicked all of these. But anytime you see this class equals current, means it'll be red. Like, what slide was that? An active link is underlined and red. So current means active.
Okay.
You might see it as current, you might see it as active within the code. So does everybody see what Emily's referring to? The class
Yeah.
equals current?
Was it red in the practice thing page?
Yeah, class is red, but current is blue.
So
Oh, okay.
this home on yours will
Is that
show
supposed
up
to be red?
red. What's that?
Is the home link, is that what's supposed to be red, or is it just the
Yes.
in the actual code?
See how mine are all purple because I've clicked them already? Your home should say red,
Oh, okay, it will be in red.
and the other two should be blue. Once you click all of them, they turn purple. So like if I cleared my cookies and web cache, this would be red, these two would be blue. So sometimes you may see this as class equals current. Other times you may see the word active here instead of current. Damien, you're done? No? So Nicole, what is that group you're in? I think I had another young scholar who said she knew you and was in some group with you. Haley?
I'm in a few.
Haley Hammonds, I think her name was.
Oh, Girls
Hammonds?
with Code?
What is that?
It's basically a club that's supposed to help strive women in technology to basically consider getting a career there and like helping them with coding.
So like Java, not like this stuff?
I think HTML would be better because it seems like it seems like an easier language to grasp for a beginner.
Because she made it sound like she like knew all this stuff already, and that group like helped her. So that's
Last
why I
semester,
figured it.
we didn't do too much last semester.
Oh no, I had her last fall for this class,
Really? Yeah, she was president last fall.
and now you're president.
Sadly, no. I'm VP of recruitment, but I'm chapter president for Beta Alpha Psi. And I'm trying to start up a cybersecurity club.
Who teaches cybersecurity? Whites? No.
No, there's a few people who work in the IT department who have been doing Network Plus Prep and Security Plus Prep. John Panorsi and Eric Lopez.
There's a professor who's also involved in a lot of cybersecurity research in the computer science department where I come from.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. That's who I'm trying to think of.
Oh no, it's a woman. Her name is Shajina Anand.
I met her. She was interested in helping me with the cybersecurity club.
Get her to be the advisor.
I got Eric Lopez to be my advisor.
Okay.
Lopez is good too.
He was my boss. Because I worked as an IT security analyst last fall and last spring before I interned for UPS. And I loved it. He's actually the reason why I got into cybersecurity. Is it Dr. Miniman?
My brain isn't working. It's still too hot out. So new Emily, I haven't had before. Are you, is this okay so far?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the class and you're definitely keeping it more entertaining than I thought it would be. So that's good.
Well, you know, I got that review like when I first taught this online during COVID in fall 2020, saying, you know, I'm the worst professor ever and should be fired.
Yeah, I definitely, from the first day, I definitely would not give you a bad review, that's for sure.
Oh, I can't have Talir anymore. He's at every class I've taught. His friend like wrote that I should be fired, and Rosenthal actually kicked him out of 3727 last semester. He's like, oh, I don't want him in your class again. He kind of gave you the only bad review you've ever gotten. And I was like, really? Was it really the only bad review I've ever gotten? I don't think that's true. Sometimes people think I'm boring, so they say that in their reviews.
Maybe
Yeah,
he should read his own reviews.
I did get your review for that class, Softball Star, about your, you know, you said, oh, let the professor make the test.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I think
If he was reading his reviews, he'd probably see that not so many people are pleased with him. So
I think Bishop wrote the same exact thing. Like,
I got you. I made sure it was in there.
He's weird. You know, a friend of mine, Bill, got hired there last year, taught 2 classes last fall, and then a course in Python in the spring. And apparently had like split reviews. And Rosenthal's like, oh, well, he had a couple bad reviews. I'm not going to bring him back. It's like, well, anytime I get reviews, you tell me not to worry about them. If I get like 1 bad review out of 30, and, you know, he had 5 in 3 classes, and you're not going to bring him back? Okay. All right. So if you did the first 2 bullet points, now we want to add our select tag to create our dropdown. So that is on slide 35. So you put that below your favorite teams. Now you run that and it gives us 3 different options. So change team 1, team 2, and team 3 to whatever teams you root for.
Why the Niners?
Why the Niners? I grew up in the 80s, bro. You know, despite what certain people will tell you, that was America's team. So once you've done all of this, you've created your list with home favorite teams, then your select drop down, and your contact me, and your paragraph. Make sure you changed your title to your name. You can copy that code into Notepad. Do File, Save As. All files and whatever you want to call it. Example, you know, in-class exercise, whatever. .html. And then save it. And then open it in whatever browser you may be using. And you'll see when you click on these, nothing happens because we have them in our code set up to not be linked to anything. So if you actually put a link there, like I gave the example for ESPN.com and clicked it, it would go to that specific website. And you'll notice we changed the title. You know, mine says Brennan's favorite quote about me from, I think I had him 2 years ago. You know, when you scroll up there, that's your title. So yours may be your name or whatever you change this to.
Sorry, how do you open it in the browser again?
So if you're in your WYSIWYG and you've done everything, copy all your code into Notepad. Paste it, then do File, Save As, and click All Files so it doesn't save it as a text file. And then whatever your name you want it to be. So yours might be, you know, softballstar.html. And once you've saved it, you know, wherever you saved it, it should show like the Chrome or Firefox, Safari, whatever your default is. Double click it. Or you might have to do right click, open with, and then select whatever.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
So again, like I said, if you go back in and change this code here within the quotes and make them specific websites, and then click on them, then it will open pages out of that instead of just clicking on them and doing nothing. And again, you'll notice when you click on them, they'll turn purple because you've used them. So slide 36 is again the example of how you combined your drop-down select into your list. You merely just put it in after your list that says favorite sports teams. If you wanted to, you could change this to an ordered list. And have it be 1, 2, 3. But I think since we have the little drop down, it looks better with the bullets, but that's just me. You guys can decide what you feel like or what you want. Again, so here's the visual of what it technically should look like when you have your page there. So if you want to test out WinCP and see if you can go onto your page. So who's already checked and knows they're up and going? New Emily, are you up and going with your courses?
I'm not 100% if I did it right. I can see it shows me like documents and files, and I see like everyone's name and then files that I have on my computer to the left of my screen. Yeah, like that. That's all I've gotten to so far.
Same here. Yeah.
So if you click on your name on this side, go in, where's the, so find wherever you saved your example.
Mm-hmm.
And click it and do upload. And it should go in your thing. So let's say AM. So what did you name yours as?
I named mine as In Class Work 8-29.
In Class Work 8-29.html?
Yeah.
So see how it says not found?
Mm-hmm.
Once you upload that, it'll now show whatever you did. whatever
Okay.
your example is. So
Got it.
everybody should do that has their Win SCP up and running and they know what they're doing. You'd replace Emily's username with your own, and then you'd replace whatever you named your file with your file there. Just so we can kind of see who's on the up and up, and who knows what they're doing with this and where they're going. So let's see who has their setup. So Raheel, Rob, Billy. Who's this? A new person? Azuz Mar?
That's me. Azuz is my middle name.
Okay.
Hi, Professor. Could you show me one more time how you opened like the website through Notepad?
So you take everything you put in the WYSIWYG, highlight, copy, then put it into Notepad, file, save as, and instead of text documents, all files, and whatever you want to name it. So I named it example, and then .html. Click save. So mine went to downloads. You know, you might have yours set up to go to documents or what have you. Then you go to whatever file, folder it's in. You either double click it and it'll open in the web browser, or right click on it, open with, and then select your web browser. So you might have Firefox, Chrome, Safari, whatever it may be.
Professor, what do I do if I'm on a Mac? Because I
You're
don't
on a Mac?
Yeah, because can you upload it the same way into that? Because I know I don't have that system.
So if you have a Mac, like I told some people, and how come your husband didn't tell you this?
No, he told me that we have to email the people, but so I'm just not uploading this into my part right now. Like, can I save it on the Mac, or you can't even save it?
Yeah, you would just save it into a Notepad. So this is just like practice for in class.
Okay.
So like this is just to see who, you know, is doing their, what, you know, who already has access and everything, and kind of to just give you guys an example of, you know, you can now see, oh, I uploaded this to my, you know, courses and can find my page and file, you know, up on the web. It's live.
Okay.
So like, I think Emily was saying she had an issue, and
Yeah.
Patrick, question?
Yeah.
Issue.
So do we have to have the CP running like to view it, or can we just go and check the website? Like we could just go on the website, right? Like
So
if we have it uploaded.
If you just go to yours like this, so what's your username?
It should be Dana Pat, and then the file is patrick.dana. It's capital P, 1T. Yeah. On it, yeah, 1T.
And then it's patrick.dana.
Yeah, .html, but it's capital P. Learned that the hard way. It's case sensitive. It should be there. I have it up right now.
Oh, it's 2 N's. Oopsie daisy. So if you go there, it shows you file exactly as you uploaded it.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you go to just your web space, this is what comes up. Do you know why?
No.
In order for that to not be there, you either have to put in the exact file that we're looking for. Like you said, yours was patrick.dana. Or you'd have to upload an index file. So where's my?
Okay.
So see for mine here, because this is technically index.html, I can just put in the courses.shu.edu/bitm 3730/ my username /
Gotcha.
So that's basically where you're going to have your project if you choose to use courses, is that'll be your index.html. But like I said, this is just practice. The only things you're really going to put up on your web space are, like I said, those 4 homework assignments and the project if you so choose. So like I have examples here, they use the blogs.shu. So like this is Brett Thomas's from last year. He did it on Philadelphia sports. Then there's another example that's on the courses. Actually, let me show you the best example on courses from Medea last year. Oh, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Here we go. So Medea made an awesome website here last year for the adoption agency she works for. So primarily that's what you'd put on your courses page. Let me see if Nicole's friend still has hers up. So other people did theirs on Wix. So this is Nicole's friend, Haley, did something for, it was like prenatal care. Some friend of hers does something like that. So there's all different things you guys can do with that, if you so choose. Well, like I said, for the purposes of this course, the HTML project or assignment rather, the CSS assignment, the JavaScript assignment, and the HTML and PHP form assignment will go up on the courses. This way it's just easier for me to, okay, click on it. Okay, it's done. Okay, they get all their points, good to go.
I put my assignment in the courses thing, but when I try to like type it up on Chrome, it's saying that it's not found.
Okay, let's see. Using Nick. So it doesn't have anything in your folder right now. Where did you upload it?
Documents. But when I look in my WinZip, it shows it there.
It shows it in. See nothing in yours.
Hold on.
Did you put it in somewhere else? Did you upload it to somewhere else?
This is my screen. I'll send a picture in the chat. If I could find the chat. I don't have access to the chat.
You don't have access to the chat?
No. I'll just send it to your personal chat. That's what I see. And then when I click on it, it opens up.
Let's try that. So that's what you see, not found?
When I click on it within the WinZip, it opens up the notepad, but it doesn't open it up in a browser. And then when I try to like type it into like Chrome, it doesn't even open it.
So I'll upload the example to yours and let's see what happens. Oh, okay. So it asked me for your login, which, you know, obviously is your login.
Yeah.
So you have this like this, and you click the file and click to upload.
Maybe. Upload file to remote directory.
So I would just click the file and then just select upload.
Okay, I just did it.
Hey, we're up and running.
Got it?
It's
There we
up,
go.
see? You see
There
your
we go.
screen? So you like 3 different hockey teams, huh?
I like the entire league. If I had to pick my top 3, those are them.
So is that why you went to Seton Hall? So you could be right next to the Devils?
So I could graduate on Devil's Ice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now we click on Nicole's and some reason isn't showing, but we know it's there. So who else wants me to test theirs?
Hey, check mine too, Professor. I think I just titled it Matthew, my first and last name, no space.
Okay. And you're the one who went by the middle name? This one here?
No, Matthew Mal, it should be Malvima. Yeah.
Malvima. And what did we name it? Web apps? MatthewMalvi.html. Okay. So if you add a folder, you have to add it in your URL. And there we go. So Giants, Newton, Braves, and Knicks.
Yeah, that's just random teams I threw in there. Well, I do like the Giants and Knicks, but it's not in like a specific type of
Are
sport.
you graduating in December or May?
I'm graduating in May.
Okay. Because it says you're a senior. Okay. So everybody saw the difference there that Matt added a additional folder to put his stuff in? That you have to add that onto your URL? Okay, did everybody who has WinSCP up and ready to go test that out? See that it works? Yes, no, maybe so. So again, like I said, you'd have to put courses.shu.edu/BITM3730, your username, and then whatever the file name is, .html. But like I said, if you add in an additional folder like Matt did, you have to add that in the URL. So that is all I had planned to cover for today. Are there any questions? Emily, question?
I was actually wondering if you can check mine just so that the URL is correct, because I don't think I have exactly what came up when I click on it.
Okay. Where are you? Sophia. All right, what's your file name?
It's titled In Class Work and then 8-29.html.
Not found.
I think I had spaces in between in class work. Should I take the spaces out?
So you have in between in and class and in between class and work?
Yeah, and then in between the K and the 8.
Okay.
And then the I, C, and W are capital.
Okay.
Okay.
And there it is.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're a passionate, kind, and happy person. That's good. I'm also happy you're excited to be in the class.
Excited to be here.
All right, so does anybody else want me to check theirs? Like I said, this extra PowerPoint and videos here is just so you have some background on technically like what is going on behind the scenes, and you'll see this more when we get into the PHP forums is why this stuff needs to be live on a server for some of it to work. The basic HTML like we just did today doesn't really need to be on a server to work. Like we kind of showed you, you can just click it open into your browser and it pops up and works. So if there are no questions, like I said, there's no homework. The first HTML homework is not due until the 18th. So after our next class meeting on the 12th, there'll be homework that night. And it's just the HTML assignment. That's 5% of the grade, and bang, you do it. Like I said, you'll upload it to WinSCP. You'll send me the link on Blackboard, and you'll get your points, hopefully. So if there's no questions, hopefully your first day of classes went well, and I'll bid you to go grab some food or whatever else you may want to do the rest of the evening. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Professor.
Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Damon, do you have a question?
Hey, so I did have a question. I didn't want to like kind of stop the flow of class because I think it's a bigger thing.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So when I open the Win on the right, I don't see like that list of everyone's name. Like that's not there for me.
So
I couldn't get in there to then upload the file.
So yours might be just like this, where it
Uh,
just is right inside yours.
So up top, like the var, so it's var www html, but then like nothing after that, and it's just a bunch of a list of folders, but none of them say bitm 3730.
So is this what you see?
Yeah, but none of them are 3730.
So you don't see this folder that says BITM 3730,
Correct.
but you see all the other stuff.
I mean, no, I guess not. No, I don't see the others either.
Okay.
It's a whole bunch of like one says dev, home, lost and found, media, like root.
Okay, so what I want you to do, see this guy on the chat screen here, Tom McGee?
Okay.
It's thomas.mcgee@shu.edu. So send him a screenshot of that, and hopefully some point tomorrow, he can fix that for you.
Okay. Okay, and then I might. Okay. Thank you.
Because like I said, this is just an in-class exercise, and so, you know, if you have it up, that's fine. If you don't upload it, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I did it. I have everything. I could send it to you if you wanted to, like, prove that, but just because I need to obviously get into the BITM thing at some point.
Oh, I just had a quick question, Professor.
Okay, go ahead.
I haven't used the WinSCP application before, and it's just saying to save. Does it automatically save when I upload, or do I have to save it? Like, it's saying to save workspace.
So when you click the X?
Yeah. And then,
so if you just click yes, that just takes you out of the workspace. So it just closes it.
Okay, so it doesn't it's already uploaded and everything, right? Like the files got transferred and the like.
Let me see. Patrick, Donna, didn't we?
Yeah, we did do mine. I'm just making sure when I'm closing the application, it's not like.
So all this
saving
does is
for
close
some
it.
reason. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So
thank you.
When you open it the next time, you have to log in again.
Yeah.
So like
okay.
I've left this open the entire class just so I don't have to keep logging back in.
Okay.
So all it does is basically log you off and close the program.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for the great class. Have a nice day.
No
See
problem.
you in 2
Enjoy.
weeks.
Yep.
Sorry, I have a question. I'm having problems. So
no.
I know. I know. So I figured out the WinSCP. He figured it out for me. I'm in, no problem. He sent me the email middle of class. So I'm all good. My problem is when I'm on the notepad.
Okay.
And I copied and pasted it. I saved as, I did all files, and I saved it. It's not saving as like a website. It's saving as the, like, you know, when we were doing last semester, like just the text file.
Mm-hmm.
It was just saving like that. Do I have to, is it because I didn't put HTML maybe?
Yep. So do file save as.
Okay, let me do it all over again. I was trying to do it in the middle of class like 15 times and it wasn't working and I didn't know why. And I missed like the majority of what I was supposed to be looking at.
So you type in where it says file name, whatever you want to save it as. So let's say, you know, Peña.html.
Okay. And I can put spaces in between that, right? If I put HTML at then?
Where would you put the spaces?
Like in class, I'm putting it as in class HTML.html. I'm able to put the spaces. It doesn't have to be all one word, correct?
Just do in class.html. Don't put HTML twice.
Okay.
That'll confuse the computer.
I'm sorry to keep you.
That's okay.
I feel
supposed to go till 7:30, so.
I know, but still, you probably have stuff to do, so I feel bad. Okay. Why is it saying, okay. Why is it saying that's not valid? Save. Okay, now that's saved. Now we go back to our file. Okay, now it saved it to Chrome. So open it in Chrome, it's there. Now we go to Win, we copied that whole thing or just?
So in Win, so you should have yours like this. Your
Okay.
Pena email, and then you select wherever it is on the side here.
Yes, I was able to find my name and the class.
And click upload.
Okay, so click on my name, then upload is, where's the upload? Sorry, can you point to it?
So on the left-hand
Oh,
side
I
here,
see it.
it should have a list of all your files.
Yep,
Click whatever it is and then click the upload.
okay.
And then I
Now-
could check. So what file it's, you said in class.html with spaces?
Yep,
That?
just in class, what is that? Like the little, not a slash, you know what I'm, I don't know how to just explain it. The middle, next to the O.
The minus sign?
Yeah, minus, sorry.
So it's in minus class.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
it's
so now-
uploaded.
okay, so that's all we have to do for assignments then is once I have it saved as a Chrome file, just do this exact same thing every time?
Everyone except the podcast assignment.
Okay. I'm
So for the-
sorry.
That's okay.
I was.
But for the one that's PHP Informs, you're also going to upload the PHP file on the Blackboard.
Okay, so,
So I'll explain that.
okay, so
That's
for the homework, okay, got
Yeah,
it, got it.
that PHP one is like months away, so.
Yeah, you can't, oh, that was my roommate, sorry. You can't be talking to me about future, I'm thinking it's now.
No. So the first assignment isn't even due until the 18th.
Okay. See, I was so engaged, I was so ready to do it, then I just had problems occur. I promise I was in it.
It's better than 3727 though, right?
I'd rather, if I was in your class for 3727 like this, I wouldn't have any problems. Like, I can't imagine, no offense, I wouldn't be able to do this if it was online. I think I would get too confused because you were like helping us do it. Now I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Oh, this goes under the head. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I think that one kid said I should be fired. I'm the worst professor ever.
Yeah.
Because during COVID, Rosendahl was just like, do whatever you want. It's like, fine, okay, I'll just upload videos and
Yeah.
you know, like basically did this, but as a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
You know, like 23 out of 24 kids were like, yeah, this was too easy. You know, I would have liked to have, done something better, but COVID kind of influenced things. Like I was
No,
teaching.
yeah. I'm excited to like actually be in class and doing this because I mean, as we saw today, the PowerPoint helped a lot because if you're just skimming it, then I can look back to it. But the only way to learn this is by doing it.
Yeah, and all of these PowerPoints are going to have code to practice and have specific like, oh, in class exercise, just like today.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
No problem.
Wait, next week is Labor Day. So I will see you on the 12th. Have a great Labor Day.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.